Welcome to Cypress Creek Adventures. Welcome to this week's episode of Cypress Creek Adventures. We're going to continue the porch project and finish it up today. And so I hope you enjoy the rest of this and have been some kind of help to maybe on a project that you're doing. And so we'll continue today where we left off last week. And as you can see, it falls to the left really hard, and this is what the problem is. And there's a history of repairs under here, but they didn't do it the right way, and they just added wood in and didn't check to see about the fall, so the water was running back towards the house. So then we ended up with all this rot, and you can see the original beam that's sandwiched in the middle there. You can see the old nails and all from the original flooring. So there was attempts made to fix this, but it was never fixed right. So we're going to make sure that this is put back correctly. And if you look here at the bottom of the floor, and the reveal here from the bottom of the shingle to the top of the floor is quite substantial, and it runs off, and by the time we get to the door down here, it's where it should be. And so right here, as you can see, the floor is supposed to meet the bottom of the shingle, and for a long time that wire down here has been nailed on there, so it's been like this for a while. Now the fellow stopped here, talked to me about it, and he said when the house was abandoned, water just used to lay here on the porch. There was nobody living here. So we're going to try to get this back up, and everything here underneath that rocking chair has got to be jacked up, so I'm going to have to crawl under here and put some shoring underneath. So this is going to be next week's project. Okay, we're back here this week, and we're getting ready to go under here and diagnose the problems that we've discussed earlier. So we're going to go under here and take a look, and hopefully I'll be able to get under here and remedy these repairs. So here's where we're at. And as you can see, these beams under here were never nailed. And so, because they were never nailed, look at the space between the top of the beam and the floor. So it's just hanging. And there's the original cross braces in here. And this beam as well needs to be jacked up so we can fill the space that's up top, because it's just hanging as well. So we're going to remove this little bit of bridging right here so we can get back in here with a jack. We might not have to take that bridging out. Let's see. I'm going to have to do some digging and get in here and see if we can get these jacked up and fastened into place. Okay, I'm still under here. Reposition my camera here so we can see a little better. But this beam is got a lot of fall, so we're going to put a post right here by my tripod and jack that beam up. And then we're going to come around here and we're going to get on the tail of this and jack that up as well and put shoring underneath of that. And the fellas are up top of here, they're walking, and this whole porch is just going up and down. So we're going to get things more solid under here and raise this porch up to where it belongs. Okay, I'm in the second bay here, and we're having the same issues with the beam that's been scabbed onto the other side of this the old beam, and so we need to jack both sides up at the same time and put blocking under there. This is the opposite side of where we just looked at, where the tail was. And so we'll move around here to this next one, and all this wood was put on but never fastened, and so it was not doing anything. So we'll do the same thing on this side as well and get things all tightened up. And it's real short under here. I'm a big guy. I don't know if I'll get under this bay completely, but we're gonna have to do some digging so I can get in here. So we'll come back when we have more progress. Okay, so I've trimmed off this board here, and I've done some digging, and I got my jack positioned in here so we can raise this beam. And I dug back as far as I could with a shovel so I can get in there in the back part, because I'm going to need to be able to scab a board on the side here and bring it all the way around here to this side and connect it to the main beam here on the end. So I want to explain what scabbing is. In the center here we see the original beam to the porch, and apparently, you know, it was getting weak and it's been cut off. And these boards here on each side of here are what's called scabs, and what that means is these have been nailed to the side of this beam in the center and sandwich this together, and it creates a new piece of wood without having to remove all this. If we tried to remove this, then we'd have to take the whole porch apart, because all that flooring is nailed to the center board. Now what's going on now is we're going to go to the end of this board right here and add and jack this up and actually attach it where we saw that it wasn't attached before, and hopefully that's going to cure our big sag in the porch. Another thing I wanted to note about these old porches, they're all built so that they slant towards the front of the house, so they shed water, usually about 10 to 15 degrees, and most of the time you can't notice it. Sometimes are more steep than others, but they all slant towards the front, so when it rains the water sheds off. And so right now the problem is on this end is that we're shedding towards the house instead of to the front. And you can probably see at the end on this angle that the other end still has its proper pitch and from the house, and so that end was shedding water, but unfortunately the corner was where all the damage was, and that took a lot of weather. Okay, now we've got the jack in the position here, and so we're going to try to see if we can raise this beam. I'm going to start jacking slowly, and we'll watch the progress. It's coming up nicely. It's taking all the slack out. We're probably going to have to put another block in down further, but for now this is working. So all the way up to the shingle now. So as you can see, we were successful in jacking this up, and we filled the gap down the side here, and this is the position that it needed to be in the first place. So I'm very happy with that. Was pretty easy to do. So now we have these bricks here that were already established and are holding a load, so we'll just add to those, and then that'll hold this up, and then we'll have to extend this beam down to the other end like we discussed earlier. So we're not going to have to go underneath here and go back a little further and put some more shoring back in there just to kind of study it, because this beam's been sagged for so long that it has a little bit of a bow in it. So I want to just make it as strong as I can. It's not attached to the house. This porch is freestanding from the house, so we have to make sure that we got this all put together the best we can. Okay, I've done some extensive digging here, and we've got things dug out. So I've got this jack ready and in position here. Hopefully we'll be able to see this as I jack this up. And so here it goes. This is the side, this side. You can see we're going up. quite substantial. I think that's where we want to be. So that brought that up about 3 inches, which is just amazing. So we'll get this fastened in, and then we have to do the other side and then the other beam as well. And then we'll check our progress and see how we are on our fall and, you know, or the pitch for this porch. Okay, we're going to film a few with getting a couple screws started here. I have to work my way down. It's pretty tight under here. The last nails were way back here, so none of this was fastened. So we're going to finish fastening this all the way and get this board here tight against the original beam. And this is our scab that somebody else had already put on. They just didn't finish this portion of it. Okay, I've got the second side dug out so I can get under there. And as you can see, it's pretty close under here, so I had to make it so I could get back in here so we can jack this up. So I'll get in position here and we'll jack this live. Okay, as you can see, it's very tight under here. We're going to jack this one. Apologize for being so jiggly. So we're going to jack this one as well. It's going up. And after we secure the other side, and we get this side secured as well, then we're going to put a block under here where you see the drills and stuff, and to help support this. Okay, so successful. Okay, so you can see now that we got this jacked up and we got this all dug out, and we got our blocks in here to help steady this. And so now we've just finished putting a level on, and all this is back to where it should be. So now we're going to address this old beam here, which we're going to have to sister alongside here and then connect it back up where it belonged on this end and fill the void. Okay, so you can see I got this temporary block in here and I got the jack under this. So we need to bring that sill back up to the floor, bottom of the floor. And so we have this new board in here that we've added. And so we're going to go all the way here. We got it notched out. We'll get this jacked up. So we've now completed this beam here is all connected in, and we have our blocking in here on the other 2 rows. And I've had the level on here and it's turned out very well. As you can see, we got a good line here now that we didn't have before on this porch. And so now we'll break away here and I'll show you the front. Okay, as you can see, this is the end result after all that work and digging and blocking, and we've brought this center back up to where it was. And it's hard to get it perfect because everything on the right side is still in the original estate, and so there is just a hair slant to it, but it all falls now towards the front of the house. So I'm very pleased to how that turned out. So on to the next. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take up the rest of these boards here and finish getting this end ready to put the new decking on. We'll do a little blocking and shoring back on here like we talked in the previous video. I need to apologize for all this banging. They're putting a roof on next door, so been in competition with them all this morning. Okay, so we finished up this end here. I brought this up, and I didn't do any jacking, but I did put shoring under these to help to steady this so to take the bounce out of the porch. And the structure is very strong on this end, and was just some rotted surface boards. Some of these boards we're going to put back, and then other boards we're going to replace. And as you can see, this corner cleaned up very nicely, and we're going to now take and get all our boards out and get them primed and ready to install next week. Well, we've completed all the repairs, and this will be the conclusion of this part of the video this week. And when the painters are going to be here tomorrow and paint the body of the house, and we'll get these boards put back in, and then in a future video I'll give a before and after of how this whole project turned out. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get future videos. And I just thank you for watching, and God bless.